Today, we're going to talk about something that so many businesses, big and small, really struggle with: metrics. We're going to demystify key performance indicators, KPIs, and figure out how to turn them from just another boring report into a tool that actually gets you real, focused results. Let's start with this thought, because it really gets right to the heart of the matter. We all use that word, right? Oh, I'm so busy. But what does it really mean? A lot of the time, it's just masking this feeling of frantic, chaotic activity, not actual meaningful progress. Is that constant feeling of motion, of always having something on your plate, is that really a sign that you're moving forward? Or could it be the very thing that's holding your business back? So let's take a look at the classic signs of a business culture that's confusing activity with achievement. It's that feeling of just spinning your wheels. You have endless meetings, you brainstorm all these amazing ideas, but then nothing. There's just a total lack of follow-through. And I bet these symptoms look pretty familiar to a lot of you. The weekly meetings feel like a total waste of time. You can practically see your team rolling their eyes. Great ideas get written on a whiteboard and then just, poof, they vanish into thin air. There's no accountability, and the whole vibe is just frantic. That right there, that's the definition of busy work. Okay, so how do we break out of this cycle? The goal here is to build a bridge, to get from that frantic, chaotic energy to a place of focused, intentional progress. Let's dig into how to do that.
This is such a brilliant way to put it because it highlights a huge pivot point for any growing company. You know, that scrappy, get it done no matter what attitude, it works great when you're just starting out. But as you start to scale, that same frantic energy becomes your worst enemy. Growth demands structure. It just has to.
And that search for structure, it almost always leads people right here to KPIs. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you want to manage something, you've got to measure it. But this is exactly where so many businesses take their first wrong turn. They start trying to track everything. There was this one business owner who, trying to get organized, he came up with 8 financial KPIs and 8 non-financial ones. 16. Can you imagine? 16 different numbers to keep an eye on. Without a clear strategy, you just end up drowning in data, not clarity. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you cut through all that noise and find the 1 or 2 metrics that can actually help you steer the ship? And the answer lies in understanding this one simple distinction. And I'm telling you, for so many leaders, this is a total game changer. This is the aha moment where all this KPI stuff finally starts to click. Okay, first up, we have lagging indicators. The easiest way to think about these is like looking in your rearview mirror. They tell you where you've already been. Things like your total monthly revenue or your profit. They're the final score of the game. They're super important for knowing if you won, but you can't change the score while you're looking at it. But then, on the other hand, we have leading indicators. Now these are your steering wheel. They're looking forward. They measure the inputs, the actions that you can take that predict your future results. How many sales calls did your team make this week? How many demos did you schedule? These are the levers you can pull today to change your results tomorrow. So here's the bottom line. You manage the process, not the result. You can't just wish for your revenue to go up. It doesn't work that way. But you can control the daily activities, the inputs that actually lead to more revenue. Focusing on those leading indicators is how you go from being reactive and looking at the past to being proactive and shaping your future. All right, theory's great, but let's make this crystal clear with an absolutely brilliant real-world example. We're going to see how one huge company uses this exact principle to focus its entire operation around a single powerful promise. To really get this, first ask yourself this simple question about your own business. What's the one single thing you promise your customers? What is the absolute core of what you do for them? Now think about Domino's. Their promise has never been about having the most delicious 5-star gourmet pizza on the planet. They are super clear about what they are not promising. Nope. Their promise, the one thing their entire brand is built on, is speed. You order Domino's because you want pizza, and you want it fast. That's the deal. And they actually turn that promise into a single company-wide KPI that everybody understands: 30 minutes. That number is their North Star. It guides everything they do. And this is the truly brilliant part. Watch how that one North Star KPI cascades down through the whole company. The kitchen team, they're not just making pizza.
They're racing against their own leading indicator, order prep time. The dispatch team has a metric for packing time. The drivers, they're measured on route efficiency. Every single department has a clear, controllable KPI that directly helps fulfill that 30-minute promise. It's genius. Okay, this brings us to the final and honestly the most critical piece of the whole puzzle. It's not enough to just have a great KPI. You have to connect it to what your team is actually doing day in and day out. Because here's the trap. If your KPIs are just numbers on a dashboard that a manager looks at once a month, they've already failed. They can't just be background noise. They have to be alive and breathing in your organization. The real magic, the real power, gets unlocked when every single person on your team understands how their daily to-do list, their specific tasks, helps move that one crucial number forward. The KPI gives their work purpose and direction. And that's the big question I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at your own business. Can every person on your team draw a straight line from their daily tasks to your most important promise to your customers? When you can honestly answer yes to that question, well, that's when you know you've finally moved beyond just being busy and you've started the journey to being truly effective.